Do you follow a religion?
No. I grew up I grew up Christian. My father was a pastor. My aunt was a evangelist. A lot of my family, were church oriented, but as I grew older, I kind of just gained spirituality. Like I got my own relationship with God. But if I would have to say, I'm Christian. Yeah, I'm Christian.
When you find this own relationship, what age were you at the time, if you're able to recollect?
Um, well, I got exposed at a young age. Like when I was young, I was around like Young Jock and Jeezy and T.I. and all these guys, so I kind of had exposure at an early age. I would say by 19, like where I'm from, they were kind of country and shit like that. So I kind of got to move around and see more.
And when you say where you're from, where are you actually referencing?
I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. Murder
Certain,
Worth.
okay, certain part of Fort Worth?
I'm from the South Side, Hardhead, Eggland. Yeah. Shout out OGN.
This aunt you mentioned was also on your father's side? You mentioned an aunt. Was she on your father's side or mother's side?
Um,
You said she was an evangelist.
oh, on my father's side, I was lost for a minute. Yeah, on my daddy's side, for sure, my aunt Lisa.
And you mentioned your father, your aunt on your father's side. What happened to your mother?
My mama good. I'm my mama's only child. So me and my mama, we was tight. We still tight. That's my baby. I love my mama.
What age were you when your parents split?
My parents, unfortunately, like a lot of I ain't gonna say a lot, but like some homes in the urban community, they never were really together. From the story I was told, you know what I'm saying? As being grown, I know it's a lot of sides to every story, but from the way my mama put it, my daddy was her first, and that's how she got pregnant. Her first time ever since she had me.
And do you know why they split? Do you know the
They were
reason?
never together. It was like he courted her just to fuck her, and I hate to talk about like that about my mama, but that was going on.
And aside from your religion, it brings me to this next point that I want to bring here. Okay, according to CNN.com, as of 7:53 p.m. on November 6th, 2021, quote unquote, of the 8 people who died at the Astroworld Festival, 7 of them range from age 14 to 27.
Damn,
Houston's mayor says hundreds were injured.
damn.
Did you hear about that?
I definitely heard about it.
On social audio app Clubhouse,
Hmm.
people questioned if this was a sacrifice,
Yeah.
if there was demonology involved, if there was Satanism involved. Now, just for context, how long have you been in the music industry for? Rough estimate.
15 years.
And for time reference, it's November 2021 now. In your opinion, from what you've seen, what you've experienced, does this stuff exist? Does this really happen?
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, um, I'm not gonna say sacrifices really happen because you know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm sure it probably does, but one thing I do know is it's light and dark, it's yin and yang. For every positive, it's a negative. For every good, it's a bad. You gotta understand, there's nothing peaches and cream about this shit. It's life. You know what I'm saying? Just like people worship God, there's people that worship Satan. Like, you know what I'm saying? That you ever been locked up, there's a lot of niggas that worship satanism, whatever the fuck you want to call it. But it's like people have different beliefs, but that's what's amazing about this world. You got the power to have individuality. You know what I'm saying? Some people judge, some people sit and judge, and some people just live in reality. That's what I like to do. I don't expect everybody to agree with me. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm gonna leave my mark of how I feel when I leave.
And do you know for sure there are recording artists practicing demonology or Satanism, or is it more so an assumption?
Man, the only thing I know for sure is I'm black and I'm gonna die one day. You know what I'm saying, man? Everything, all this other shit. Even listen, you gotta believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Cause you know what I'm saying? You can see some shit and be so sure that that's what's going on, man, and you know, and you be completely wrong. And you can hear some shit, and it's been said by so many people that you way the fuck off. So you know what I'm saying? I live in my reality, man. I don't give a fuck what them people doing, as long as they don't come fucking with me and my people. You know what I'm saying? And if you know, hey, I done been in some weird situations, you know what I'm saying? But I got faith, you know what I'm saying? I got God on my side. My family, my grandmother, rest in peace, rest her soul, she always, you know, my father, my family, they always instilled God in me. Not like looking up in the sky, God, but like inside of me, like I feel like it's a power in me where I'm protected from harm if I carry myself a certain way. And you know what I'm saying? That's what I try to do. And I try to lead my people the same way. Anybody around me, that's the same way I try to always give them knowledge, give them some game every time I'm around them. A lot of your favorite rappers too, they won't never tell you, but I still love y'all.
When you say you've been in some weird situations, do you want to shed any light on that?
I mean, like I said, bro, you gotta believe half of what you see and none of what you heard. So I don't really want to talk about nothing that I ain't 100% sure of because shit, if I don't want to put no false narrative out there to the world, and you know what I'm saying, that's how the industry be getting fucked up and brainwashed. Cause these little niggas go around and they talk about shit they hear, or they say it was a narrative around way back like I snitched or some shit. That's completely false. These niggas don't know what the fuck they talking about. But they so young, they hear a negative narrative from an op, and that's who they grew up around and they know, so they gonna come and say that, but they don't know what the fuck they talking about. So I learned from the way I got stoned like Jesus, you feel me? From false narratives, I would never be the one to paint that picture. You know what I'm saying? I'ma always stand on my morals, you feel me? For sure.
That narrative of you snitching,
Yeah.
do you feel like you've beat that narrative?
I don't give a fuck. I'll beat a nigga up. What I'm saying is, man, look, hey, listen, it's 1,000% fact I ain't never snitched on nobody. I'm not no motherfucking snitch, and that ain't nothing I'm worried about. And the people that know me, what really just hurt me more than anything is just people that's directly connected to me that were around the situation that never spoke up, that knew the truth. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's neither here nor there because that never stopped me from living my life and being the person I am. You know what I'm saying? So it just seemed, you know, I start to notice when I start meeting people, they're like, damn, I know you like this. Like, how you thought I was? Or what, you know what I'm saying? And that's what kind of centered me of trying to make sure I be this person or show the world, shed another light on the world, not of just myself, but of a reflection of how maybe you need to be. Instead of judging people and jumping to conclusions, maybe you need to know before you open your fucking mouth and speak. You know what I'm saying?
That is a serious narrative, though.
Yeah.
In a certain culture, and
in my culture.
And in that culture, is it safe to say people could get killed for that narrative?
People don't got killed. People gonna keep getting killed. That's what's happening. I mean, it's the world. You know what I'm saying? What type of person are you is the question. I'm still right here.
Was that ever a worry as you were fighting that narrative, or?
No, hell no. Hell no. I ain't never one time woke up and was thinking, oh, somebody think this. Never 1 second of my life have I thought like that. But to the world, I guess what they see or what they heard. And see, one thing about me, anybody around me and know me, they can attest to this. Bro, me, I don't listen to nobody but myself. I don't even listen to rappers' music. I don't watch rappers, so when people come tell me shit, I just never really give it energy. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's how great artists like Jay-Z done do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they never stoop down to the level of the common man. They always held themselves like in a certain ism, a certain kingism, or you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it always held their value rather than depreciating it like a lot of people do. And you know, they ain't to shun upon nobody. Cause one thing, man, I ain't never been no hater. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no hater. I'm just gonna represent me.
The reason why I'm asking you these questions about sacrificing, demonology, Satanism is because there are people in this audience that see recording artists depict some of these items.
Correct.
In cover art, in music videos,
Mm-hmm.
in language like a phrase "demon time," for example,
Correct.
slang. And people in the audience want to know, are these recording artists just using this stuff for clout? Are they playing with this stuff for a money grab? Or do they really truly believe in some of this stuff and are practicing some of this stuff?
I mean,
And
man,
that's why I guess with your 15 years of experience and you being around
yeah.
in the music industry, just curious if you knew the answer to that.
Uh, what I can say, I ain't gonna say I know the answer to that, but what I will say is the culture of rap and hip hop is based around black people. Period. It's talented people of every ethnicity, every, sexuality, all that shit. But the black man and woman were the root of music and black music and hip hop is what I'm saying. So one thing that can be proven over time is not only, but to a certain extent, specifically black people had hustle. You understand what I'm saying? Hustle extends way further than drugs. It extends way further than selling bootleg shit and doing than all the negative shit you see. Sometimes hustle is a mindset. You understand what I'm saying? And when a black person evolves is when they learn to transfer that mindset to business, transfer that hustle to business. Now some people do it on the light side, like I explained to you earlier. You got light and dark. You got yin and yang. Some people explain that narrative on the dark side, which may be, oh, we see these people fall for Illuminati shit, they fall for this shit, so I'm going to tease them with this. Some people may be feeling like that. Some of them may actually be feeling like that. And then you got another side of people, you know what I'm saying, like me, who worship light and God, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. And without one, it wouldn't be the other. The other one would be non-existent. So I believe it's a balance, like I said. I'm just on this side. You know what I'm saying? If you're on that side, I feel sorry for you. Cause when you run into me, boy, your ass is grass.
Is the Illuminati real?
I have no idea. I'm real. I'm real. I've seen hints of all this shit, and I don't doubt nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't doubt nothing. And everything ain't always what it seems. You know what I'm saying? I like to be an optimist rather than a pessimist. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you something means one thing and it may mean something completely different. They might say the Illuminati mean this and this and that, but guess what? It might mean something opposite of what they're teaching you because maybe the secret is to keep it a secret, motherfucker. Else it wouldn't be what it is. Everything that wasn't great was because it was exposed. So you got to understand that you're only going to be exposed to what the ones that don't want you to know want you to be exposed to. You got to think high, elevate, motherfucker.
Now, when it comes to Astroworld and the events that took place recently in 2021 with that festival there, do you think that is a turning point in the music industry, what took place?
I think that was definitely one of the most tragic events in music in the last decade or two, maybe ever, to be like people actually killed. And the way it was done with what they said, needles like doped up drug needles or some shit. Was that supposedly the story?
I don't know I don't know all the facts at this
Man,
point.
what I do know is I have a close friend that's very close with Travis Scott, man. Shout out my boy Electric Tax 50. That's like my brother. I know he a good ass dude. You know what I'm saying? He's standing on a lot of morals. I can't speak on nobody I don't personally know, or you know what I'm saying. I've been in Travis' presence, and he seemed like a cool dude to me. I think, like I said, the media and people gonna take a narrative and run with it. You know what I'm saying? So I just pray for them people. I just hope, I pray for their family, man. I hope, that they can get past this. And that's just sad for Trav to even have to go through that because now the backlash, I'm sure, is it's already here, and I'm sure it's, going to get worse. He just got to stay prayed up.
And I know the facts are still coming out about this incident, and we may be a little I may be a little premature in asking you some of these questions, but I'm still going to ask anyways, just to see what you're thinking at this point. But do you think Astroworld will be the end of music festivals as we know it?
Hell no. It's too much motherfucking money in a music festival. You think they gonna stop Coachella because of Astroworld? You think they gonna stop Rolling Loud because of Astroworld? No, they're not. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They're not. But you know what I'm saying? It may be the start of something that they're trying to. You know what I'm saying? They gotta plant the seed. Just as COVID. That's why you back there wearing that mask. That's why, you know what I'm saying? Everybody walking around in this fear because they're making you afraid to have faith. And you know what I'm saying? That's my perspective. I feel like they're instilling fear to make people not have faith. Because when you're afraid, fear is one of the first things that will make you forget about the faith you had. You a motherfucker believe in God so much. Oh, God, this. And let this person get shot in the head beside you. If that person tell you to say you love the devil, them motherfucker gonna say they love the devil because they don't want to get shot in the head. But what happened to your faith, motherfucker? You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people not stand up about God, they stand down. And it ain't just God, it's about you. You gotta understand, like, when I came on my last interview with you, I talked to you about how I had a talk with God, how he spoke to me. And at that moment, I didn't even realize what that meant until I lived more and more of life. Until I realized that voice was the same voice that told me if I had a good girl and I was finna go fuck another bitch, and it was like, man, you ain't gotta do that girl like that. Like, she a good girl. It was actually my real conscious. God been talking to me for years, and he been talking to you. And until motherfucker listen, they don't even know who, you know what I'm saying? And they're not just listening, it's going through a life-changing experience that kind of trigger your brain and your heart and your spirit and show you it's more than just you and these other people in the world. There's really more meaning behind this shit. And I think part of the reason that, you know what I'm saying, musically, to some people may look like I hit a ceiling is because it's a lot of evil shit in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just saying, and I represent another side of it. And not saying that side is not present, but I just have yet to run into the people that I need to run into that represent that.
Now, have you had a chance to personally perform at a music festival in your career?
Yep, I performed at Rolling Loud before. I went to Coachella, and I just experienced it. I didn't perform. I was set to perform on a small stage. I think it collapsed or something like that, so I didn't get to perform.
When you did get a chance to perform at Rolling Loud, do you remember what city or what year this was?
It was L.A.,
Okay.
and I believe it was 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like? Do you remember?
It was amazing. Anybody know me know I love to perform. Like, I'm a natural born performer of music. Like, it just flowed through me. So it was just a hell of a feeling. Anytime I perform, man, whether it's one person or 100,000, I just love it.
And this was your own set, or you were a special guest coming
No,
out on somebody
it
else?
was a small set. It was my set, though.
Okay.
For sure.
When it comes to doing shows, and it doesn't even have to be a music festival, but when it comes to doing, how many shows do you think you've done in your career? If you could even rough estimate it.
Man, I probably done like at least 600 shows.
Ever stopped a show over a fan or some sort of disturbance in the crowd?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think one time I was in, well, I don't think, I know, one time I was in, I think this is the city is what I mean to say, Augusta, Georgia, or like Savannah, or one of them. And I was on tour with Kevin Gates. We was on the I Don't Get Tired 2 tour. And I was on stage, and I came out like on the hoverboard. And all our shows were like in event halls and stadiums. None of them were like clubs, but we'll do after parties at clubs. So we went to one spot, and the sound man wasn't there, and the DJ was acting like, I don't know if he was the DJ or the sound man. Anyway, he was fucking up my set. And I asked him once, if he didn't know what he's doing, move out the way because I'm trying to put on a show with these people. And he fucked up my set one more time, man. I asked him not to, and I just threw the mic at his head. And before I threw it, I got the confirmation from the crowd. I was like, man, I want to put on a show for y'all, but he fucking up my set, man. What y'all think? He fucking up that? Yeah, fuck him. And like, this was a little while back, so of course I matured now. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things I had to move past. You know what I'm saying? I had to realize I had to reintroduce myself to a lot of people because I was, you know, I used to do a lot of reckless shit, and I kind of had to grow the fuck up, man.
Should music festivals be banned after Astroworld?
Hell no, because I want to be on something. Please don't ban them. Do not ban them motherfuckers. I'm trying to get that Drake money for these shows. I need them motherfucking tip them money. I want to get some of these checks they getting. I didn't get to experience that yet, and I'm trying to see what that be like. You feel what I'm saying? I need to see.
Well, let me give you an alternative in that scenario, okay? Should music festivals just switch to seated venues, like an arena or stadium?
Listen, I don't believe or co-sign none of the scary shit that's going on in America today. Don't ask me no more scary ass questions. I don't give a fuck. All this face mask, all the not gathering, I don't believe in that narrative. And I'm not saying that it's not true, but I'm saying fear instills truth. You got to understand the power of the tongue is very important. The more that you speak on this is the more we put in this. Have you noticed? I'm going to ask you one thing. I want to interview you for 1 second. Can I do that?
I don't put my opinions in interviews. Though.
I want to ask you something because
I could hear it.
Okay, listen.
Let's hear it.
So a lot of times, have you ever noticed that majority of people, well, I ain't going to say majority, have you ever know of a person or heard of a story of a person that had cancer? And until they went to the doctor and it said and found out they had cancer, they were perfectly fine. But when they found out they had cancer, all of a sudden they died. Or faster than normal. Do you understand what I'm saying at all? Have you ever heard of any situation similar to something like that?
I've heard of that.
One thing I'm going to tell you, look, 9 times, a lot of that shit is in your mind. The power of your mind is very strong, man. You know what I'm saying? They're just like people that's very spiritual. When you in tune and you really connected and you on your shit, if you speak on something, it can happen. Sometimes shit happen in a month. Sometimes it happen in weeks. Me, I'm so in tune, it can happen in 24 hours, a day. If I speak somebody's name, anything like that type of shit, I might pop and run into them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Certain stuff like that. I learned that I manifest a lot of these things. So I don't feed into a lot of these narratives because I know how powerful. I've been with women who have dreams about me who won't tell me all the dreams because they seen how powerful my tongue is. When I speak on certain shit, it comes to life. If they speak on it around me, have you noticed that's just like you leaving out the house, your girl say, don't get pulled over. Why the fuck you say that? I wasn't even thinking about getting pulled over. And it never would have crossed my mind, but until she said that, that energy didn't enter my life. You understand what I'm saying?
Now, there may be people watching this interview that say they understand that perspective about the mind and the tongue and things of that nature. But there may be people watching this saying, what about science?
And that's for the fucking scientists to figure out. Guess what? I'm a rapper. Go talk to Bill Nye, the fucking science guy, when you want to know about science. I don't know about science. I know how to cook some dope. That's science. That's it. But I'm past that. We talking about now. I don't know about science. And to each his own. Like I said, I'm not a judgmental person. They're welcome to have their views, however they want to feel about whatever. But the people around me, in my circle, and the people that I inspire, I'm going to instill belief. I'm going to instill faith. I'm going to instill optimism, not pessimism, not disbelief, and not non-faith, period.